First of all, I want to say thank you for being here this morning with us. We're going to spend a bit of time learning about a public health concern that's gripped the entire planet. Fentanyl and other synthetic opioids contribute to over 150 deaths per day. And this crisis is coming closer and closer to home. Last week, our local law enforcement agency released a statement stating that fentanyl had been found circulating in Cloud County. Some of you have already been personally affected by the dangers of fentanyl or other opioids. And many, and most of us, I'm sad to say, someday probably will be. Let's welcome and give our utmost attention to Chief Gehring and the Concordia Police Department. This information could save a life.
Hi, my name is Toby Davis, and I wanted to tell my story about my son, Brady Rohde. First of all, I'd like to let you guys all know that my family is from Concordia, Kansas, and I graduated from Belleville High School. My son was 23 years old, and he was in high school, all-conference football player, basketball player, played every sport, and was really good at what he did. He also played college basketball, and on March 13th of 2022, I received a phone call at 5:30 in the morning, a phone call that no parent would ever want to get. The phone call was from the police department and a doctor at Good Samaritan Hospital in Kearney, Nebraska, telling me to get to the hospital quick. They did not know that I lived 3 hours away. So therefore, they put Brady on a ventilator to keep him alive. 3.5 hours later, I got to Kearney to see my son laying in the ICU room with a ventilator hooked up to IVs, medication galore. Brady was in ICU for 1 month, and I brought him to Omaha. I live in Omaha now, and brought him to Omaha to the hospital so I could help take care of him. Brady was in the hospital for 3 months at Madonna, and I have brought Brady home on July 15th. I wanted to tell you a little bit about what happened. Brady was given a laced fentanyl pill from a friend that he played college basketball with. His girlfriend also knew that it was laced, and his friend knew it was laced, yet they still gave it to him, and Brady took it and suffered from 10 o'clock at night till 5 o'clock when the paramedics got to him. The paramedics Narcaned Brady 2 times and did CPR and brought him back 4 times. Brady coded 4 times. Because nobody went to check on Brady, he had a lack of oxygen to his brain, and Brady is in the state that he is in now. Brady cannot move his arms, Brady cannot move his legs, Brady cannot talk, Brady cannot eat, Brady has a feeding tube. Brady could not go to the bathroom the first 4.5 months on his own. He had to have his bladder drained every 4 hours. So the reason why I'm telling Brady's story is this can happen to anyone. Anyone. Do not trust anyone. Do not take drugs. Fentanyl will kill you. Brady is very, very lucky to be alive. Every single doctor that we've had, and Brady has had a lot of doctors, has told us Brady will never, ever, ever do anything, ever again. Because of this, Brady requires 24/7 care nonstop. Brady cannot be left alone, and his grandma has moved to Omaha, his brother has moved to Omaha, and they help me care for him 24/7. So I wanted to let everybody know, do not take any drugs from anyone, even if they're your friends. Fentanyl kills people. I don't know how Brady's alive. He shouldn't be alive, but he is alive. And now he's in this state, and I don't know if I'll ever get the Brady back that we all used to know. Thank you.
What did you guys think of that video? Pretty powerful, wasn't it? So does anybody know what fentanyl is? What is it? What's it used for mainly? Well, it was invented for the treatment of cancer. But now it's got in the wrong hands and people are using it to lace everything. They're lacing marijuana, they're lacing methamphetamines, they're lacing candy. Candy that we eat on a daily basis, sweet tarts, whatever it may be. They're taking these pills, they're crushing them down, they're melting it, and they're interlacing it with candies like caramel candies, sweet tarts, Skittles, whatever it may be, and they're handing it to people like you to get them hooked. But the problem is, when they melt this down, they don't know how strong the batch is. So some of you might get a small dose, and some of you might get a lethal dose. That's why it is so dangerous out here. So fentanyl is 50 times stronger than heroin, and heroin's strong. Heroin will hook you right away just like methamphetamines. But just think of that, 50 times stronger than heroin. This is what fentanyl can consist of. It can be in pill form, powder form, or be injected. So basically what they're doing is they're taking the pills, crushing them down to powder, and then they're putting some type of heat source to get it in the liquid form to inject. I don't know if everybody can see that, but you see these little rocks right here beside this penny? This is an actual size penny. Right there, that little bit will kill you, a fentanyl. So here's the problem is they're making it so it's hard for you and I to be able to tell which one's a real pill and which one's a fake pill. Can you tell which one's a fake pill? Do you have an idea? This one right here. But do you think that if someone gives you a pill or whatever, that you're going to examine it that well to be able to say if it's fake or real? First of all, we shouldn't be taking any pills that are not issued by the doctor, correct? Here's what I'm talking about. It's called the rainbow effect. These are fentanyl-laced sweet tarts. Just one of these can have enough fentanyl in it to kill you. So do we understand how important this is? Not to take anything that's unwrapped or anybody that gives you anything, not to take it. So here's more of the sweet tarts. These are like the taffy candies. They're laced in taffy candies. And I can tell you, last week, Concordia Police Department and Cloud County Sheriff's Department seized these in Concordia, Kansas. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but it's real, guys. It's here. Okay, we're doing everything we can to educate everybody and make sure that none of you get affected by fentanyl, because I don't want to knock on your parents' door and say, I'm sorry to tell you, but your son or daughter didn't make it. Okay? So that's why we're trying to get out to the schools, to the public, everything else, is we want to be educating people on this. And what's coming up? Valentine's Day, right? A lot of candy, and I'm not trying to scare anybody from candy, But I'm just saying is be sure it's got to be packaged, guys. And I'm not saying that it's everywhere in Concordia, because it's not. But it is in Kansas. Just 80 miles away, a 16-year-old died last week of fentanyl overdose. And we play them in sports. I'm not going to tell you where it's at, but I'm just telling you, it's happening. So I don't want one of you guys to be one of those statistics. You guys have any questions? But just remember that they're not only lacing candy, they're lacing marijuana. They're lacing about anything they can get their hands on. I worked in Dixon County, the Abilene area for 20 years. That's where I've been. One of my friends, his son was a basketball player. He's 19 years old, went to a party. He didn't come home that night because he smoked some marijuana that was laced. So it's real, guys. So I just ask that anytime anybody gives you anything that you suspect any wrongdoing, that you want to tell whoever's around, your parents, counselor, teachers, whatever, and then they'll get a hold of us, okay? And then we can test it and move on. We're wearing special gloves and face shields and everything else just to deal with this stuff because, and then we're having the Concordia Fire Department follow us in every search warrant in case we go down from a fentanyl overdose, or fentanyl exposure. So they're carrying Narcan on them to be able to hit officers that are down with it. Eric, you want to add anything? Okay. So basically in an overdose, if you come across someone that you suspect, basically just get them on their side, make sure they have an open airway, and call 911 immediately. And I understand the schools are going to are carrying Narcan as well. And like I said, once again, we're not trying to scare you guys. We just want you guys to have the education and know what it looks like and what's out there. We want everybody to go home. Any questions?
All right, that is good information. I will send out, so you guys will all, along with your parents or guardians, get some information about what we just heard with some additional resources for your own personal learning there. I will say though, look out for each other. Okay, I know that Chief Karen said he's not trying to scare us, but it is scary. Like this is incredibly scary stuff, right? And I think it should be a little bit. Okay? Look out for yourself, but look out for each other, right? That is something we can all do in this room. 5th and 6th grade, follow your teachers back to class. You guys are in 3rd block. Let's go learn, okay? Thank you, guys.